Hello and welcome to this video where we'll go into styling of dashboard. So basically we have created a dashboard. If we look into the last lecture, here we have the code, we have read the data, we have created a simple dashboard, and you can see that here is the dashboard in Streamlit. So basically, I'll just close this down, and you see the raw data, and you see here some trends, you see the different metrics, and you see a plotly chart, right? So in order to style this, let's do some simple styling to start with. Or not styling, but another, instead of using Markdown here, we can use we can use the different functions in Streamlit directly. So for example, to have a header, we have st.title, or the title I mean. So here is your dashboard. I'll do it as always rerun, and you cannot see difference, and that is just to show that you can use the Streamlit functions as well. So instead of Markdown, we have write. I'll say this one. We have Markdown here, and the second one is header. So we have raw data header as header, and then we have, instead of Markdown here, we have header as well. I'll say this one, and you can see it may not look like there's huge difference, but it's just the way to style, to write the different to get in text. So you can either use Markdown directly, or you can use the different functions in Streamlit. So I just want to show the different methods. So here we have Streamlit header. Let's see, do we have something more? Metric, right? Yeah, basically like this. Yes, so not much to change here. So now we want to read in a CSS file to get some styling. And in order to do that, we start here, a file called style.css. You could also you can also divide it into several different files. However, I'll just use one style in order to make it more simpler. And in order to read in the styles, we do it like this. We need to have a function, def read CSS. Here we need to define a CSS path. So the path then the file dot parent, and then I will. So this, when we do dot parent, we'll get into this Streamlit styling folder, so the root folder, and here I will find the style.css. So in this way we'll get the path into this CSS file. And in order to read it in, we just do with open CSS path as CSS, and then we do a markdown. And for doing the markdown, we do a style tag. So basically, this is an HTML tag where you can add styles into it. And what I want to add in is just the CSS.read. So basically, I get the CSS, I open the CSS path, and then I will do CSS.read. And in order for this to work, we also need to allow unsafe HTML. So this is true. So in this way, we have a read CSS function, and I will add this into the layout. So read CSS like this. So now in the layout, we will also have the CSS, the styling, basically. So let's do it like this. We go into the style, And to check that this works, we'll take h1, the h1 tag, and I will do a color into tomato, like this, and I save it. And we see that, yes, it changed to tomato. Great. So the styling works. So this CSS file is connected. It's put into this markdown. It's put into this markdown file, right? Let's see here, this markdown function. So, and in this markdown function, we have this style tag, and in order for the tags to work, we need to allow unsafe HTML, and then we just we read in everything from this style CSS file. Great. So now you know that we can have CSS, and since we can do that, let's start doing some CSS now. So I will do it like this. First of all, I will do some definition. I will do some variables here. So what we can do is basically like this. I will copy this. I will do like this first. So in order to define variables, you do 2 dashes. So I'll do primary color. And I will type in which primary color I want. 050505. Like this. And it's kind of a black color. It's not entirely black, but it's close to it. In order to not have too strong contrast between between pure black and pure white. So we want to have some lighter contrast in order for it to be easier on the eyes. And also background color, I will have like this. So this is similarly, it's a white color, but it's not purely white. So then I will also do background color secondary, like this. So it's another white color. They are quite similar. So one more thing to note is that there's different naming convention in CSS compared to in Python, so this is called camel case, which we have in CSS, while in Python we have snake case, right? So camel case means that we have a lowercase letter here as a start, and then for every other word we have a capital letter for the first letter. Yes, so we start by this. We have some definition of colors. So then I can do like, for example, I will start with H1, H2, H3, and P tag. So these are different tags, right? And then I can do color, variable -- primary color, Shift Alt F in order to do auto formatting with prettier. So I'll save this one, and now we see that it becomes dark again. Great. If I would change primary color to tomato, for example, then we can see that all of them becomes tomato. So in this way, you can choose to just change change the variable in one place, and you can use this variable in several different tags and several different places. So you don't need to change each of them. So let's go back to this darker color here. Yes. And in order to understand some basics within HTML and CSS, since we are Python developers, we're not used to this type of syntax. I will also go into this. So we right click and go into inspect. And when you do inspect, let me increase this one. So when you do inspect, you will see basically the HTML code. So this is the HTML code for this web app or this web page. And we have the CSS styling here. And one thing to note is that we have a lot of different tags. You see, there's a lot of div tags. And you can actually click on this button and you can go into each of them, hover to them, and you can see what shows up. So basically you see here, the header, which we wrote in Streamlit, it created an H2 for us. So it created an H2. And then it means that if we take the H2, let me go back here. If we take the H2 selector here, it means that we can style it as we want. So whenever we style this, then all the H2 will be affected, all the H1, all the H3, all the P's will be affected, right? That's why I could use a primary color here and all of them will be affected. I could do border 1 pixel solid black, for example. If I do this, what happens? Then we get borders on them. So basically we style them, right? However, I don't want this. Just wanted to show. So basically in CSS, you will when we're doing styling, we will work a lot with the browser here and find the different selectors. Okay, so I would like to add some more variables into this CSS styling and use the variables in order for us to make some evenly spacing and evenly sizing of the fonts. So basically, in order to do that, I will use something called a modular scale, which I've gotten from a book called Every Layout, which is a really good resource material that you can use in order to learn more about modular scale and about how to lay out different things in CSS. So I will copy from my lecture note now, and I will auto format it. So basically what this is something called a modular scale. So basically we have a starting value of 1 rem. So it's a relative unit that is based on the font size of the browser. And then we have a ratio 1.5, and so we have one step smaller than the basic font size is S-1, and this one you do 1 rem divided by 1.5, right? Divided by this ratio. Similarly, for S-2, then we have S1 divided by 1.5. So you can see that it's divided by 1.5 to the power of n, right? And here you have S1, which is one step larger than S0. So here you take multiplication instead. So you have S0 times the ratio, etc. So you get 1 times 1.5, and the second one you get 1 times 1.5 to the power of 2, and so on. In this way, you don't need to chance on what type of size the font should be, what type of margins should be between each of the elements. So here you have a modular scale. So you design it so that it become so that the web page become dynamic. So what you then do is basically is like, if you want to have larger size than the basic size, then you take S1. If you want a slightly smaller one, you take S-1, etc. And also here you can choose a different ratio. Maybe people you may choose another ratio to see how it affects. However, this is the only one you need to change, and the S0 you need to change in order to, and all other will follow along, basically. So this is the purpose behind the modular scale. So we can use the modular scale now, and basically, so I want my p tag to be of font size. I take this variable S0. I click R here to run this one. So this is S0, and then I want my H1 tag. I want my, let's see how much do I have here. I have H2. Let's see if this is we have H2 here, right? And we have H1. And I could think like maybe I will go down to H3. So then H3 should be one step larger than P. So H3, font size is S1, so it's one step larger. Then we can have H2 and H1, H2, H1, and H2 is where S2, so it's slightly larger than H3, and then H1 is larger than H2. So if I save this one and I run here, now you can see the difference. So H3, this is for the title, H1. I mean H1, S3. So it has size S3. And this one has size S2. So basically, these are like, if you, for example, change to another device where you have the default font size to be certain pixels, then this will be adjusted automatically. And also when you have like a bigger device, for example, a computer, and you have another font size, then this will also be adjusted automatically. And as we have everything depends on one rem, and then calculates the next steps, right? So this is then you have these sizes to play with. So we have these, and now I would like to do something like this. I would like to use a very special selector here. So I go into the body tag, body selector, and here I want to have all the children of body. This is so now we get all the elements of body, all the children of bodies, and require that it must have another sibling. So this means that the ones without a sibling, like the first one here, it doesn't have any sibling, so it should have no margin, so it won't be affected. So what I do want with this is that I want to add in a margin. And this is called, this selector is called lobotomized owl. Lobotomized owl selector to give even margins. Otherwise, it's quite difficult to, then you need to find out how to give different margins. So should you give margins on each of the elements, or should you give it throughout everything? And here, using this lobotomized owl, we get this, we get the margins throughout the design. And we can make exceptions. When we don't want that margin, we remove that margin, right? So this is exception-based CSS. So then we can do margin top here. And margin top I will take as this variable. So for example, we can start with a larger one, S2, and see what happens. So if I run this one again, we see that, okay, it became margins here. And you see, it doesn't affect the first one. The first one doesn't have an extra margin. I want to find out this one, this tag here. And then I want to go up a little bit. I want to go up a little bit again. I want to go up here. Here, and then okay, next one here. This one, like here. Now I have what I want. So this one, we see we don't have a margin in the top. However, this one has a margin in the top. So if I click on this one, we can see the lobotomized owl worked here. So it has a margin of this variable, S2, which is basically here you can see it's a calculation of 1 rem times 1.5 and that one times 1.5. And the next one has a margin top as well. The reason why the first one here doesn't have is because this one does not have a sibling on the, like another sibling, right? Before it. So it affects the second one. So basically, if it had another sibling before it, then it would be affected. Like this one, it has another sibling, right? It has this one and this one. So then the margin top will be affected. Similarly here, it has the one before as the top sibling. So its margin top will be affected, etc. This also, this, and so on and so forth. So, but I don't want the so large margin top. This was just for illustration. So I will make it smaller. I will actually do -2 instead, like this. And then run this one and we see it's smaller one, smaller margins here. That's good. So basically we have fixed the margins. However, let me increase this one. If we scroll down here, we see that here we don't have a top margin and here we have top margins, right? Based on the lobotomized owl that we used before. So we need to find out these siblings. So we created 4 columns in Streamlit, right? So we have here 1 column, 1 column, 1 column, and 1 column. So we see that all of these are siblings and all of them have this attribute called data-test ID equals column, right? So then we can use this this attribute in order to say margin top equals 0, basically. So let's copy this one. I double click here and I copy this margin or this attribute and we'll find a selector on this. So let's do it like this. We need the brackets, data test ID, and then we need to have a bar here to say equal to column. So then we'll find these selectors and for this we'll do margin top 0. And refreshing this here, we scroll down and we see that it's fixed. Great. So moving on, let's do some, I want to do some other things. I scroll up here and I want to check this here, the top. I want to remove this one. So I can look it up and see here that we have we have this data test ID here as ST header. So I will remove this header. So basically I do like this. Data test ID. I'll remove st header. I will say display none. So now it has disappeared. So it's not shown anymore. We see that we have empty space, but we don't have it shown. Good. So now I want to make some coloring. So basically what I want to do, if I increase this, I want to have one type of gray color for inside, and another type of gray whitish color on the outside, so that we can clearly see that this in the center here is our content. And also I want to adjust the padding somewhat. So in order to do this, we first need to find this element, right? So let's find this element here. This element. We see div class stappView block container. So let's take this one. And also they have a data test ID here. I can pick this class here. So I will pick this one, copy this. I will go into VS Code, dot. So now I found this selector. So a dot to find the class selectors. And here I will do background color, variable background color, like this. So if I now do Command R, we see that, yeah, there's a slight difference in coloring here. So now we have a certain color here, while the outside is not the white color, right? So similarly, I want to have the background color to be darker. So what I will do is going into here, I will do the body actually. So the body, I will have background color as variable background color secondary, like this. And it doesn't affect anything because it's actually some kind of child of the body. Which we could find out here. Let me see if we can find that out. So this one maybe, stapp main, because here we get inside. So this one is exactly outside, and it's a section. So we will find this one, stapp main, appview main. Okay, let's see how that works. Instead of body here, I will do dot and paste this one in. And now we'll see if this works or not. Yes, it seemed to work. Great. So we see that we have another color outside here now. And we have another color. So we have two different background colors basically. One for the content and one for outside. So this is my design for now. However, I don't want this so much space here. So what is it that gives me this type of spacing? So if I look into this selector here, this tag here, we see that if we go into the styles, let's see, margin, it seems to be 0. Okay, nothing to do there. However, there's another that is called padding. And then we can see here, okay, there's padding 6 rem, 1 rem, and 10 rem. So it means we have 6 rem in the top, we have 10 rem in the bottom, and we have 1 rem on the sides. So let's adjust this one. So for example, we want to have, so let's adjust this one. So So in order to adjust this one, we need to find, let's see, we need to find, so it was, let me see if it was this one. This one is st_app_view block container. st_app_view block container. So let's see if I have it here. No, I don't have it, so I will create that. Ah, it's this one, st_app_view block container, exactly. So padding top, I want it to be variable --s1. So update this one. We see we have less padding on the top now. We want to have padding left. I want to have S3, and I will do S3 on the padding right as well. So here we have some padding here, some space. And I also want to have a padding bottom. Let me say, yeah, S3 as well. Okay, let's see how this looks now. So if I close this down, I'll scroll down a little bit. Yeah, we have some spacing in the end, we have some spacing in the top, we have some padding, or some padding in the right and left. Great, now I actually want to make it a little bit wider. So in order to do that, let's do like this. We can have max width to be 110 characters long. So ch is a unit for the width of the zero in your for your characters. So then we have 110 characters as the maximum. So I'll save this one, and we'll see that it becomes a little bit wider, which is what I wanted. So now I just put in the max width, right? So let's do it like this more. I think this looks quite well right now. I want to find a font, Google Fonts. Here. And let me pick one that will pop out a little bit. Let's do Poppins. So you find a font you like, and here is one of the fonts, Poppins. And in order to add this one, let me show here. We go into, let's see, we say get font, get embedded code. And here we have, let me see, let me scroll down a little bit. So let's see, copy code. Import. This is what I was looking for. So basically I want to import this. So I copy this, save it, copy, and go in here, go into the top. I want to paste this in. So this, I have imported the Poppins font. So this means that I can use this Poppin font. So let's do it like this. We have the fonts. We have P here, the tags for the text. And let's do like this color, no, not color, font family. I can do Poppins. And if it cannot find Poppins for some reason, then sans serif is the default to go back to. So I save this one, go back here, and I update it. And we see the text font has been different. And you can also choose another font if you like, but this is a way to so that you have custom fonts. So what I did, I put the fonts for these basically. So H tags and P tags. So now we have the fonts, and let's do also, we need to also do, actually this I want to have some padding here. So let's go into the, where we found the columns, right? Let's see where we did find the columns. Block container, here, column. So I will do some padding left, variable S1. And update this one. We can see that it becomes a little bit more in the middle. So there's some padding here. Or actually, do I want margin left? Margin left. Yes, that is more correct. So I want the margin left. So that I can space them between. So we see that now they are correctly spaced. And if we come closer, we see that they jump here, so that it's responsive. You could argue to change the design a little bit and also make fewer columns. However, I can keep it like this and be relatively satisfied. I won't make a very, I won't be very detailed in the design. So here we can choose the region, right? When we have the graph. So what I want to do is to make the graph be similar to the background and similar to the color palette. So let's go here to dashboard and do command. I will actually create a new file here that I will call constants.type. And here I will create a class color, and I will do a primary. I will do a primary equals to some color. And I will do a background equals to another color. So then I will steal here which type of colors that I picked. This one for primary. And I will pick this one for the background. Like this. So now in the dashboard, let's do Command B in order to remove the side. So basically from constants import what do I want to import? I want to import color, and then I can be here in the figure. Update traces. I want to have somewhat thicker, and I want to have update layout, y-axis. Let me see. Actually, I need to go and check my notes a little bit. I forgot the syntax. Yes, here. Paper bg color for background color equals color dot background. Plot background color equals color dot background. So I save this one and I run it, and we can see that, yeah, it's different now. Now it's blending in, right? Now we have the same background as the background, and we can also change the line here, the line color. Line, let's see, here, line dict, and we can do color equals color dot primary. Save this one. And if we update here we see that this becomes the primary color. Yes, this is somewhat boring colors, but however accessible, and yeah, I'm quite satisfied with this one. So you can change here and you can see the graph changes. Great, and this was some simple styling in CSS. However, it's actually not in beginner's level, unfortunately, but I hope you understood anyway. And the CSS is basically what I've done mostly is that I have used variables. That is good to use. I've used one for the scale, so that's modular scale, and one for colors. And then one more important thing is that I have done different colors here. I've done some styling on different tags, different selectors, and here is one lobotomized owl that is special. And here we use this class in order to do the styling, and here we use attributes, different attributes. Here's different class. And one more important thing that I actually forgot in the beginning is that if you have it in dark mode, there's two different options. One option is that you can change it in the three dots if you haven't hidden the header, which I've done here. Let's see. I've done here display none, and I can do display block instead. So that to show you. So here you have the header, and you can pick. I actually should have shown you this in the beginning. So you can, in the settings, you can pick which setting you want. You can either, if you have dark here, you can pick dark. You can pick system settings, or you can pick light. Let's see how dark looks like. Yeah, quite strange. And some of the things is not showing, which is bad. So I haven't styled it so that it works in dark mode. However, I will make it into light, and I will force it into light so that it doesn't use, because by default it will use the system settings. So first of all, I will do display hidden and display none to remove this one. Remove the top here, the header. And then I will do, let's see, what do I want to do? Yes, the themes, right? So I will create a new folder called .streamlit. And in this folder, I create a file called config.toml. And in this toml, I will do a theme, and I will do base equals light, basically. So this forces it into being a light, so that it doesn't become system default theme. It's light by default. So, and this you should also commit to your GitHub, so that, and also when you deploy this later on, you force Streamlit to be the color light, and to have light mode instead of dark. So if I look like this, yeah, it works. Everything seems to be okay. Yes, and thank you for watching this video. Bye.